Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm AJ O'Neill, and this is Beyond Code Live. I'm just working on some various projects. We're going to start off with I want to be able to test something on a Raspberry Pi, and so I've got a Raspberry Pi that's got the Ubuntu 64-bit image, but I'm going to need to create a 32-bit image, and since it's probably going to take a little bit to download and burn that to the SD, we'll look at some PRs and stuff as well, and then I got an API that I'm going to be working on. So that's what we got going. So for those of you that are joining in, I'd love to know who you are and what brings you to the channel tonight or today or whatever it is, wherever you are. And all right. Let me stick this SD card in there. By the way, I love the Silicon Power SD cards. They're better than SanDisk. They're just as good as Samsung, and they are the cheapest that you can get that are not fake cards. And they're always rock solid reliable. I plug those occasionally because they are so good anytime that I am dealing with something that has SD cards. Anyway, two more things before we get started, though. Hey, Mike, what's up? How you doing? That's not one of them, although that is important. But the two things are, one, I still have the who to follow down in the doobly-doo, and I am picking Douglas Crockford. I probably picked him before, but I'm picking him again. I've got a link to his playlist. If you are a JavaScript developer and you have not watched the series that is on the full JavaScript series that he put together, plus the additional presentation that came a couple years later. Well, I guess there's a couple. Anyway, check out the playlist. Douglas Crockford, down in the doobly-doo. It's in the description on YouTube. I don't know where if it shows up on Twitch. It's supposed to, but I don't know if it does. And then the other thing is, let's have a word from our sponsor, but not really our sponsor, Mr. Mountain Dew. It is time, my friends, to pop a top and open focus. Oh, I almost coughed all over the keyboard. Oh, much like Diesel, Mountain Dew only does good if you put it in the right place. Okay, sorry about that. Mostly sorry to my lungs. Or I guess it's not really your lungs. I don't know what it is when things go down the wrong pipe. Anyway, so what I need to do here is I'm going to open up the Raspberry Pi website because I don't know where it downloads to when you just choose. Let's see. It's not called Raspbian anymore, is it? And now I think it's called Raspberry Pi OS now. I think they renamed it. Yeah, I think now it's called Raspberry Pi OS. I guess they're taking maybe diverging further from Debian, or maybe Raspbian just sounds like a dumb name. I don't know. Oh, interesting. Oh, maybe this belongs on Webi. Okay, yes, but see the download options. That's what I want. I want to manually download because that's what I prefer to do. Now, if the torrent is fast, let's see. For 463 megabytes, the download's probably going to be faster. It says it's compatible with all Raspberry Pi models, which to me means that it's not optimized for any of them. I would, especially with the manager as it is, it seems that you'd want to grab the one that's most optimized. Okay, all right, I'm going to go back. I am going to make an option for this, though. Raspberry Pi OS. Download the manager. Huh. Yeah, we could probably just throw this into the applications folder. That'd probably work. So I'm actually going to put this up here. This would be most similar to probably the one that I just did with the GNU-PG. I'm not sure, actually. But I'm just going to put up an issue. Add Raspberry Pi OS installer. So this will be similar to GPG or iTerm 2 or Brave. though Brave's not done yet. But I think now they fixed. There was some bug in the installer in Brave, or kind of a bug, where it required system permissions to install, and I think they have since fixed that because it shouldn't require system permissions to install. Okay, I'm just gonna put that on there. I think that's a cool thing that we could have on Webi. Anyway, so I guess that's probably already downloaded while I was babbling. Choose operating system. Let's go down to use custom, and then we should be able. Oh, hey everybody, welcome. I am just burning an SD card for Raspberry Pi. I need the 32-bit one to debug a problem with something else. Let's see, where, I don't know where it went. Where did it go to? What is it called? Oh, it's called 2021. Okay, so that'll help me. Let's go back to downloads here. Downloads 2021. Oh, I downloaded this the other day. This is the newest one. Wait, yes? Yes? 10 is greater than 5? Okay, we're going to go with it. Wait, what's it? Bullseye, Buster, ARM HF. ARM HF. Okay, yeah, we'll just go with it. And then we're going to choose the storage. It's going to be generic media. I'm going to make sure, I'm pretty sure that just has a Raspberry Pi image on it already. Yeah. So if we look on here, what's on there already is just a different Raspberry Pi image. So I'm just going to blow that image away and do this one. And it's going to ask me for my password. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, I did carefully look at that to make sure it's the right drive. I've got a bunch of stuff plugged in, but I was careful to make sure that is in fact the right one. So let me go put this over here, and or not. And this will be done in just a little bit. And then I've got a couple Pis right here. So I've got this one, which I think this one's been giving me trouble. I'm not, because I could have sworn that, I think that the card that I just took out of here, I think this one stopped booting up for some reason. And then we got this one here. So I don't know. I guess they should be equal. Oh, can I get the card out of this one? That's the question for this one. I don't know if I can get it out. I'm going to have to work that a little bit. Okay, it's already written. It's verifying. It's going to be ready to go. Okay. Can I pull this out? All right, I'm going to pull it out. Cool, I got that out. Save that for later. And I see, by the way, I'm AJ. Hello to those of you joining in. Identify yourselves, or don't. You know, we're friendly to lurkers here. But if you want to say hello, I like to have a little bit of chit-chat and conversation. Mike, you're always working on something interesting. What are you working on tonight? Or this morning, as it were. Okay. I can now pull the card from the reader. All right. Pulled the card from the reader. And I'm going to put this in here. And I'm pretty sure it won't let me put it in the wrong way. Yeah, it doesn't let me put it in the wrong way. So now, let's see what we got to do. I'm thinking... I think I've got a plug down here for it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. No, that's not it. I thought I had one down here. I might have to run over to the other room for just a second. It won't take long. But just to plug this in. Let me see. I'm going to turn on the light real quick. I'll be right back. I thought I had my plug for the Raspberry Pi right here. Apparently I was wrong. So I'm going to go to the other room and plug this in the other room. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'll just throw this up for a second here. Boom. 30 seconds or so. Now, hopefully they didn't change too much up on me from the last time I used this. So we're going to go into my router here. So a couple of things I want y'all to know. First of all, I'm going to give you the link for these silicon power things. Micro SD. This right here, this is a bomb diggity deal. I won't go into too much detail on it, but technically speaking, this is the best bang for buck that you could possibly get. These are rated V30, which means they have a minimum write speed in the worst conditions of 30, and A1 meaning that it's rated for applications that do random reads and writes. So they're pretty bomb diggity. No, it's not just you. There's at least 4 people on right now that I can see. Jose, what's up? How you doing? Let's see. And where are you? You're coming from YouTube. Okay. I see there. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So just silicon power. Best micro SDs out there. And never get a USB drive. Always get a micro SD and then pair it with a USB adapter because, and this is the one that I use. I'm just gonna throw this up here too real quick. Because they lie. Everybody lies. SanDisk, doesn't matter who you pick. Samsung, everybody lies when it comes to USB drives because there is no formal standard. And so they can claim whatever they want about the read speed and the write speed. There's no formal standard or metric by which those can be judged. So if it has a read speed of 100 megabytes per second for a fraction of a second, they can put that on there. Whereas with SD cards, there are actual standards because they're primarily used in cameras and equipment and stuff like that. And so there's hardcore standards that they have to meet. So micro SD cards will be cheaper and better than USB drives. Yeah. That's an affiliate link right there. The Silicon Power Micro SD, and the same thing here. This is what I'm creating. And then I have a kit.co if you want to check that out. But here's Rocket Tech. This gets a little bit hot, but it's a good USB 3 drive right there. USB to micro SD reader is what that is right there. Anyway, so yeah, I appreciate when you use the affiliate links. I only recommend stuff that I recommend that I use personally, or that is the equivalent of what I use if the generation has passed or something. But as you could see, I think it said I'd bought that 3 or 4 times because I've bought them for my business. I bought them for other people. I got them in my bag. I love it. Okay, so here I am, and our goal right now is we need to find the Raspberry Pi. It should have booted up by now. And so we just need to find where it is on the network. And I'm not going to go into routers right now, unless somebody asks me a specific question. But this is the best thing money can buy, and it's also one of the cheapest things money can buy, which occasionally you get that, just like with the Silicon Power, you get this rare circumstance of super cheap and extremely high quality. And that's what the Edge Max is. It's a professional router, and it literally, my internet speed doubled when I switched to this, which I did not realize that the router could be the cause of a slowdown. Well, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't slow to begin with. Anyway, so I got to figure out. Let's see, what's the expiration on these? We probably want to pick the one that has the longest expiration away. Let's see. Flip this. So this is it right here, Raspberry Pi. That's the one. So now we know what the host name is and the IP address. So if we were to just do, as long as on Linux you have the Avahi stuff installed, or if you're on Mac, ZeroConf comes pre-installed, and on Windows, I think it's pre-installed on Windows 10, but if it's not, you install the Apple print drivers, and that will give you Avahi/ZeroConf, and then you can just do Raspberry Pi .local. You can use .local domains when Avahi/ZeroConf is running. And sometimes you don't actually have to put the .local on there. But we should get a login. Actually, I'm probably going to have to do pi at, I think is what I'll have to do here. Okay, that doesn't seem like it's working. That shouldn't be taking so long. It could be it's a first time boot. So it could actually be taking a really long time just to do its first time boot stuff. It's a Raspberry Pi 3. But key generation, for example, actually does take a really long time. Okay, let's just try to ping it and see if we get a ping back. I don't even see a ping. That's not a good sign. I don't. What does that tell us, though? All right, host is down. That's good. So that's telling us at least that it is... Something's happening here. What is going on? Okay. So yeah, it must be going through its setup process because the network is turning on and off, and it might be doing key generation or something. So while it's doing that, let's see Raspberry Pi OS default password. I think it's Raspberry. I think the default username is Pi. And I think the default user password is Raspberry. Yeah, Pi and Raspberry. Okay, so let me check here. I'm checking to see. Whoa, no, I don't want to subscribe to the blog. I'm checking the comments because there was a couple of comments that came in I didn't look yet. My chat is crazy. Well, anyways, just found you, and since I don't want to watch my code and stuff, I thought, why not watch this guy do his code? Do his code and stuff. Okay, got it. You're welcome. Just broke the USB-C port of my Raspberry Pi today. Oh, sad. I'll just use the GPIO, I think. What? I don't know. I don't know how you're going to use the GPIO, but good luck with that. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit ticked if this thing doesn't boot. But just in case, I'm gonna do one other thing here. Okay, no, I don't want to use that one. This is the small card. It's too slow. That annoyed me last time I tried to use it. So I got an old 32 gig card. Okay. Well, and also the Raspberry Pi 3 and 2 are really, really slow with SSH. So I'm just going to let it hang there for a minute because this could be key generation that we're stuck on. And I'm going to search on my desk here because I had another SD card. Where did I put it? No, maybe. No, that's not it. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Let me go back to the router and see if the router says anything different than what it said a minute ago. Okay. Services, view leases, expiration. Okay. Oh, shigigiga. I think you didn't enable SSH on the boot partition. Is that something we have to do now? It's not on by default anymore? You need an empty file inside the boot partition named SSH. Okay, I will go unplug it and I will go do that. Thank you. And then also I'm wondering if this USB cable isn't about ready to give up the ghost, maybe. Because this is old. This is literally one of the first USB micro cables I got. So I went to, I think it was the second ever Google I/O. I was in college at the time, and my professor, for my class, I was his TA. And if I remember, I know he offered to pay for the ticket. I think he actually did. But back then it was cheap. It wasn't $1,500. Back then it was super affordable. All right, so let me grab this network cable. Grunting makes it feel more cool. But this went to, they gave away 2 phones at that conference. One of them was absolute crap. It was really cool, but it was pretty much useless. The battery died. None of the features worked on it. The other one was the Motorola Droid. The Motorola Droid was actually, that was a solid phone. It worked for many years. I even gave it to somebody, and then a few years later, he gave it back to me. Just to, as a device to test things on. So I had good times there. Okay, so this time I'm actually gonna see if we can bring around, you know what? I'm gonna have a little fun here. Maybe. No, I'm not gonna deal with that. I was gonna say I could plug in the HDMI, but I don't really want to deal with the HDMI. But I was gonna say I could show it to you on the screen, but we're only gonna be doing this for a second. Okay, so I need to grab this thing. Whoops. First, let me see if I can get the SD card out of here. This case does not make it easy to get the SD card out. They used to, so some of them are spring loaded and some of them are not. That's really weird to me. Of the Pi 3s, some of the Pi 3s have a spring where you can push on it and then it'll pop out, but some of them do not. Or maybe the QA on that is just really bad, but I think it's they switch manufacturers or switch parts for the run. Also, when you're buying stuff from China, they will switch parts on you. You have to keep people out there to do quality assurance, or hire one of the companies in Taiwan to do your quality assurance for you and hope that they're not ripping you off as well. Because you'll agree to something and they'll start you with that, and all the test units, your first 10,000 test units or whatever it is, will, or not 10,000 test units, but your first production run will all pass QA, and then once they've gained your trust, they start slipping in junk parts and shaving 10 cents here and 10 cents there. All right, this is really obnoxious. I hope I don't have to get out the screwdriver to get this thing out. I'm probably going to have to get out the screwdriver to, oops. I'm just going to use a little flathead here, one of these little guys for eyeglasses, basically. See if I can prod this thing out that way. Hopefully not break it. Okay. That makes me feel a little uncomfortable. Come on. Okay. All right, good. Just a tiny scrape on the plastic. Didn't chip it or anything, it doesn't look like. All right, let's put this back in. And so you say, can you link me to the documentation for that? Oh, you're probably not. Let me give you the Discord real quick. I'm going to give you all the Discord. So if you want to, I probably can turn back on allowing links on YouTube at this point. It seems that the spam has died down. But anyway, I'm going to give you all the Discord links. So if you want to send me a link, I can. Discord. You can send me a link there. I'm CoolAge86 in the Discord. Okay, so we got that. I put that in here, so I should be able to bring this up. And then boot. All right, we just created an empty file called SSH. Is that what we're doing? So there's file, new, can't do it. Okay. But yeah, I'd appreciate it if you give me the documentation for this. Volumes, boot, SSH. Is that what we're doing? Raspberry Pi SSH file. Okay, all the Raspberry Pi 3s are friction fit. And it may also be the Raspberry Pi 2 and the Raspberry Pi 3 were the same form factor. So I may have had a Raspberry Pi 2 the other day and thought it was a Raspberry Pi 3 because I thought I got rid of all my Raspberry Pi 2s. I've got one Raspberry Pi 4 now. Let's see. Volumes, boot, touch S. No. Come on, man. All right, cool. So that's probably as good as we're gonna get here. Okay, let's get rid of that. All right, I'm going to wait 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and then pull it out because, believe it or not, there's residual power on these things, and you can't pull them out as soon as the light goes out. All right, let's do that. Okay, pushing this thing in, and I'm going to try booting it up. There we go. Okay. All right, that's booting up, and let's see what else we can do while we wait. Let me catch up on comments. Okay, yep, touch SSH, cool. Thank you. Alrighty, so pull requests that we got open. This one is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and start rebasing that. So let me move this out of the way. We don't need that right now. I'm going to move this out of the way because we don't need that right now, although I might go back to that. That's work stuff. This is work stuff too, actually. I think this whole thing, there we go. My fun stuff is over here. So let me just move these over one desktop to my fun stuff desktop. And then I could move that stuff back to my work desktop. Whoops, what just happened? There we go. Okay, so these can come back over here. There we go. All right. So Raspberry Pi.local, and it is pi at Raspberry Pi.local. And we'll see what happens there. If I have to, I'm going to have to unplug the comment screen and plug it in to here. So we'll see what we end up doing there. Okay, but I said, I said we're ready to go in terms of rebasing this. Okay, so this is, I'm on beta.webinstall.dev. Whoops, I should bring this down so the keycast mabob doesn't get in the way. We're going to check out, I think it's main on this one. Yeah, no? Git checkout, git branch. Is it master? Are we checking out master on this? Git checkout master. That's so weird. I could have sworn that I changed it. Oh, this one. Okay. It's this one here. Git checkout main. That's it. And then, actually, I guess we just should do a git fetch. And then, what do we got? So this one's easy enough to do. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Larns first. We got a Webi review. Oh, whoops, I don't want to do that one. Dang it. Update docs. Let's call it that. Okay, cool. And then we're going to rebase this with main. Okay, cool. So that one's already up to date. It's already good. All right. Are we getting into this Raspberry Pi here? Finally. All right. And this is Raspberry. Yeah, it takes forever to log in. It takes several seconds. Okay, it's a little bit faster on the 32-bit version. Interesting. Yeah, so what I'm actually going to do here is let's do sudo su, and then I'm going to do curl https webinstall.dev/ssh add user bash. There we go. And that's going to set me up with my standard app user. And let's see, .ssh. Do we have authorized keys on here? No, I need to go into home pi.ssh authorized key. What? What's going on here? Home pi. We don't have authorized keys? Oh, duh, that's what it's telling me. Okay. I'm going to curl koolaj6.com/authorized keys and put that. Oh, actually, let me just get the information out of here because I say exactly what to do. All right, I should put the. Okay, hold on. Webi SSH pub key. Curl https webinstall.dev. There we go. So let's get Webi. Okay, let's get... All right, let's get SSH pub key. Okay, now we can put the authorized keys in there. And whoops, Vim. What the letter L? Vim not found. What kind of bare bones system is this? It'll have VI, but I can't be bothered with VI. I mean, I can do it in a pinch. The whole reason that I learned how to use the HJKL rather than the arrow keys was so that I could use VI when I'm on a system that only has VI, such as a router or some esoteric server or, you know, weird BSD system or something. All right, this is too slow. Come on. Seriously? I'm going to be here all day. Okay, cool. All right, so that's good. All of that because I wanted to copy and paste this command. Oh, did I install the GUI stuff? They installed the GUI stuff. Dang it, they broke my copy paste. Curse you. Crap, how do I turn off set no GUI? Is that what it is? Set no GUI? Is it set no mouse? Something like that. I can't stand when... Okay, good. That seems to have broken it sufficiently. Because now... There we go. Good. Is it set no mouse? I don't know what it is. But I'm glad that having that breaks it in the right way. Okay, cool. All right, so now I should be able to log out. Let's log back in here. So we should be able to do now SSH instead of pi, we're going to do app. That's the standard username I like to use. Why is it asking me for a password? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, because I didn't actually do Webi SSH add user. I got distracted. Okay, cool. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so now I'm assuming it's generating keys or something. It's taking a little bit of time. Alrighty. Cool. And I should be able to log in like so. Great. And now I have the SSH add user script secure SSH. Now SSH is secure. Okay. Cool beans. All right, now we're on here. Now we need to do what I came here to do. What I came here to do was check out this issue. Let me go back with Zoxide, it's called. Let's see. With the prefer muscle builds, that one is good. But let me go back to the issues here, because that is related to, let's see, Zoxide. Needs fallback for various ARM builds. This is what I need to test. So you and I know that let me get into my other Pi here. So my other Pi is called pipe. Dang it. Come on, don't tell me I can't get into pipe right now. Let me into pipe. What's going on? What's up here? Okay, let's try Pinky. I don't know if I bumped the network cable when I was in the other room or what's going on. No? How about Picky? Oh, Pinky's up. All right, good. Good, so pipe is down, but Pinky's up. But Pinky, so if we do cat proc CPU info, what we should see is, where is it going to give me the type of CPU that it is? Um, Weird. I thought that it would tell me that it thinks that it's an ARM. Okay, let's do this. Arch should tell me the correct CPU architecture, which is ARM64. But over here, it's telling me that it's ARM v7.1. And the problem with this is if I go to install Zoxide on Pinky, I'm just going to uninstall it so that it, well, let me see. Downloads, Webi, Zoxide, this version. Okay, so we can see ARch64 unknown Linux muscle, right? That's what we expect. But if I install Zoxide over here, oh wait, now I'm root. I don't want to be root. Let me get back into, here it is. All right, so Zoxide over here, this is the same type of Raspberry Pi, and I do have it installing for ARch64 because this is a 64-bit processor, right? So when I go to run it, so Zoxide help, cannot execute binary, exec format error. So I think the thing is Raspberry Pi OS, oh, bless me, Bionic. I think that's what we need. No, that's not it. What's the Bionic? Isn't there something? I thought that's what it was called when you. No, Bionic is the name of the distribution. Okay, I think I got the wires crossed. I thought there was something that's similar to Rosetta for Mac OS for the Raspberry Pi, so that it should, a 64-bit CPU should be able to run 64-bit programs. And I thought somebody said that it was called Bionic, or maybe I'm crossing the streams. Correct me if you know what I'm talking, what the real thing is here. Let's see. Okay, regardless, that doesn't matter. What we do need is to go to webinstall.dev/packages. No. Let's go to FAQ, because in the FAQ I put what the URLs are to be able to see something. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look at this. Nope, that's not what I wanted actually. I think I wanted /API/packages. Packages. Okay, I'm going to have to go to the GitHub page. I need to make this more prominent because for some reason I can't remember what the URL is off the top of my head. And that is poor form for Webi, because Webi should be all about you can remember things off the top of your head. Also, I got to go through there and rename all that. Oh, that's wrong. Okay, where's API? Okay, releases. It's called releases. API releases. Okay. So we're going to do this. We're going to pick Zoxide. Zoxide. And then we're going to check to see OS is Linux. What does it give us? Okay, I want to look at this in tab. Oh, it is in tab format? It is in tab format. Okay, I'm going to have to... No, it's not in tab format. We're going to look at this in tab format. Okay, Zoxide, add.tab. And then let's bring this down. Okay, so... ARM64, AMD64. That's all I'm seeing under the releases. Wait, this says... this. Oh, something's wrong here. This says ARM v7, and it's being tagged as ARM64. That's the bug. Okay, now I'm checking comments. Sorry. You might have the 32-bit version of the 32-bit version of the OS. Yes. So that's the thing. The 32-bit version of the OS is supposed to be able to run the 64-bit binaries. I do have the Raspberry Pi OS is 32-bit. The Ubuntu server is 64-bit. Just need to download the 64 bits of any Pi OS. Well, here's the thing, is that actually something is wrong with Webi, because Webi is tagging things as ARM that should be tagged as, or tagging ARM64 things that clearly should be tagged as ARM v7L. So that's what I need to look at right now, is I need to figure out why is it tagging it wrong and fix that. So that, I mean, that's at least a step in the right direction. So if I look at Zoxide and we look at releases, and we just fetch some releases here. Actually, let me get rid of that first and then go look for ARM v7. We can see right here, it is tagging it as Arch ARM64. So something is wrong with my tagging. Let me take a look at the Zoxide releases and make sure that it doesn't have anything special. Okay, it does not. So then something is wrong with normalize. We've got a bug in normalize is what's going on. So let's go look at ARM64. First of all, is there any, in this URL, do we have any 64 anywhere in here? GitHub, Ajit Zouza, Zoxide, releases, download. There is no 64 in here at all. Okay, so definitely should not be coming up as ARM64. So let's go to the top. Arches, ARM7v1, ARM64. Okay, I think I see the problem right here. So this, we should be tagging. We're doing things in the wrong order. We should first be checking for ARM v7 before we check for ARM64. I bet that's where things are gone south. Yeah. So the first and most likely match. So I'm actually going to go with most likely match, most ambiguous match, ARM versus ARM64. Yeah. ARM6 versus, okay, so let's put these in this order maybe. Let's see. If we see AArch32, okay, these are very they're not the most ambiguous, but we're going to run it this way. These become more ambiguous. Okay, that match should be guaranteed. This match should be guaranteed. And then we don't necessarily know that we have an L on there. So I'm going to get rid of that L. Technically, we should be able to determine if something is ARM v7H. Whoops. And ARM6H. The H would not be optional because hard floats are always marked. So we have ARM v7H, v6H. Let's see, ARM is most ambiguous / variant. AMD 64 is more likely than ARM 64. That's not necessarily true anymore. But it's gonna be easier to tell. Ah, crap, except for 6. This one needs to come after this one. Okay. ARM 64 is more likely than ARM 6 at this point. See, this is just nasty. All right, what are we looking at here? Raspberry OS. Oh, they do have a 64 version of the Raspberry OS? Well, so my problem is not that I need the 64-bit version. The problem is that I need the URL of the download for things like Zoxide to match correctly for people that are just following the generic instructions for Raspberry Pi and end up with the 32-bit version on the 64-bit processor. So that's my problem. So, okay, ARM HF is most unique. But ARM 67L could be ambiguous. Okay. So ARM6 could be ambiguous. ARM 7 cannot be confused with ARM 64. AMD 64 is whatever. I don't know. I think this is the order that we end up needing to put these things in order for this to work. So let me go look where Arches is being used. Arches. Okay, so I think right now, if I just restart web install beta and I go look, instead of looking at prod, let's go look at beta. Okay. ARM v7L, cool. So now this is correct. So I've got the right sort order on that. Great. Okay. Where am I? What branch am I on right now? Update docs. Let me do a stash on this because I need to be in the, I think, Linux releases branch. Git stash pop. Okay, and then, yeah, let me take a look at my log here. Bug fix. Prefer muscle builds, allow RMB. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to add this, and we're going to do, whoops. Rebase main dash I. Okay. So I'm going to fold that one in. Let's get this out of the way. Prefer muscle builds. Detect ARM v7 versus v64 properly plus ARM HF. There we go. Cool. So let me force push this then. That should be good. Okay, so let's do this. Now let's go back to my Raspberry Pi. I can get out of this one now. We don't need that anymore. I probably should, yeah, this now it shouldn't be possible to log in. Whoops. As pi at raspberrypi.local, because with that script I ran earlier, yeah, it disables password authentication. So now we're safe. By the way, that script, which I need to break down into a couple of scripts because there's parts of this that are useful all on their own. But this is SSH add user. And I'm going to break this out into SSH secure. And I'm going to add SSH secure maybe to SSH pubkey too, or at least print out warnings if you run SSH pubkey and it detects that you have an insecure installation of SSH. But this will add a secure user based on key authentication, or fail if it can't add the secure user based on key authentication, and then it will update your SSD SSHD config file so that it doesn't allow insecure authentication. Okay, so this one, which one is the one? This one right here. Okay, so let's get rid of that local bin Zoxide. Yeah, we're just going to get rid of this thing. And then we're going to Webi. I need to export Webi host equals https beta.webinstall.dev. And now we're going to Webi Zoxide again, and this time it should grab the correct version. Okay, Zoxide help. Cool, that worked. Sweet. So, gosh. Some things are so fragile. But I don't know how I could do any better. Okay. Yeah, so this is just a bunch of regex. It's not necessarily nastiness, but yeah, this is pretty nasty. But these are pretty simple. These I do not consider to be nasty. This is the way of the world. It's pretty clean. But the problem here is that we're looking for, I think this is wrong. I can't remember why I have it testing this way. I should have put a comment there because this one is not 100% clear to me what it's trying to say. Because I think what it's trying to say is that if all it detects, should either detect either of these as 64, or if it detects ARM, but ARM wasn't ARM 6 or ARM 7, then we can assume that it is ARM 64 for the build. This is not the output of Arch, so this is detects. Let's see, used for detecting system Arch from download file name, download URL from package download URL. And I'm just going to put an example here. This one, where were we at? Okay, I'm just going to take this as an example. Yeah, so perfect example. Perfect example right here. So look at this. This has ARM v7, ARM unknown, and AArch64. What the flippy do? What does this one mean? I think maybe this means ARM v5. I'm not really sure, but I have it tagged as ARM 64. And I don't know if that's right either. But I'm going to go ahead and copy this over because this is the perfect example of what I'm trying to demonstrate here. So I agree and I disagree. with what you're saying there. So I agree that the regex should be more exact. I disagree that it shouldn't have a waterfall order. I think that your regex should be as simple as possible because regexes are very fragile. They're one of the things that's most likely to cause problems for you as you continue your development, right? So I don't want to put more emphasis on something that's fragile, that's difficult to read and easy to break. I want to put less emphasis on that. So the waterfall method is a good method, and the problem with trying to do it a different way, and I should just, I'm just going to put foo bar here, org foo. I'm just going to try to clean this up so that it retains the spirit of it, but not doesn't go on to multiple lines, so that this is readable as documentation. Anyway, we cannot create a regular expression that perfectly captures what every release is going to be named because we don't know. We don't have the luxury of knowing. I'm just gonna slim this down as much as I can so that it retains the sense of what it is. Let's see, foo, yeah. But actually just getting rid of all the version information the second time around would be just as well, because it's often done this way. Well, not on GitHub specifically, but, well, no, it can be done that way. Totally can be done that way. Anyway, so I'll just get rid of all this unknown garbage here so that this is just more readable. There we go. So this is arm HF. Dang it. Okay, let me look at this better. So do we have an ARM7 that is for this release that is not HF? What do we have here? This one is 64. This one's V7 HF. This one is ARM HF. I don't know what it is. And this one's ARM 64. So this might be ARM V6 or it might be ARM V5. I'm not sure. Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome. I am, so I've got a Raspberry Pi that I'm logged into. I'm AJ. I'd love to know who you are and what brings you to the channel today. I'm glad to see so many people. I'm hoping to one day get above three average viewers on Twitch. So I know that many of you are coming from YouTube, but thanks for joining in and helping our overlords what's the word? Gamify our lives in such a way that we're willing to do what they want us to do. Okay. Anyway, okay. So I actually need to ask him what this build is supposed to be. And I think what I might need to do is tag this one specifically because it's just too ambiguous. Because that should have a, I don't know. I don't know. This isn't even going to work because we've got the HF here. Muscle EABI HF. So this is going to get tagged as V7L because it doesn't say V7 HF here, and that's what it should have, the H there. It shouldn't have the H over here. Whatever. Yeah, so there's just, for this particular thing, there's not a magic way to have the CPU architecture match the download so that you can be sure that when you're on a 64-bit Raspberry Pi versus a 32-bit Raspberry Pi that you get the right thing, because people can't agree on how to name their downloads because you have this right here. This definitely should be HF there, but they decided to put HF over here. So you can't generically solve this problem. I'm just trying to get reasonably close to it, and realistically the Zoxide package needs to be tagged specifically because who knows what the heck this means. I'm guessing it's ARM v5, but it doesn't say what it is. Okay. Okay, so with that out of the way, let me go ahead and restart the server again here. And then let's refresh this. And then Arch ARM. And then one thing that I want to do as well, I'll have to go back here, is specifically for Zoxide. Well, I don't know what the release is. I have to ask him. I have to ask him, what does this mean? So I will go ask him in just a second here. So I'm just going to put txt here, and then we're going to get rid of all of this. Delete all of this. Delete all of this. Delete all of this. Delete. Okay. And then I just got to ask him, hey, what does mean? Is that ARM v5 or ARM 64HF? Why do you put the HF after let's see, after muscle rather than adjoined, adjacent, alongside ARM, ARM v7, alongside, rather than like, Okay. Make that comment. He'll get back to me. But I think, so we solved the problem as reasonably well as we can generically. Maybe there's a better way to do it. I'm totally open to pull requests and other ideas of how to have a better generic solution if you've got something in mind that's a better generic solution. But I think let's see, that's normalized. No, we want to look at, whoops, no, let me get out of here. I didn't want to be in this one. I wanted to be in this one. All right, let me take a look at this one last time. Get diff cached. What did we do here that's different? Wait, why is it hold on. Dot prettier RC, good there. What? npm run prettier. I did not put a prettier script in here. I will remedy that now. Prettier. npx prettier at 2 -w ****.js md html. What else? I think that's the only types of files I have in here that prettier can run on. Yes. Okay, so this did change some things. Here's what I'm going to do. Do I want to do it this way? I don't really. Whoop. Oh, duh. npx prettier at 2-w. So whenever you have a prettier problem, meaning that code's not formatted correctly, I like to go back, format the code, and then apply the changes. But you have to apply the code formatting along the way. So we're actually just going to do this one file for right now. Whoops. Well, no, we can do all the files. We can go ahead and do all the files. That's going to be fine. Do JS, MD, what was the other one? HTML or something? Okay. Yeah, well, if you can give me reference documentation to a standard for that. Sorry, and I'm commenting on comments without actually being clear about what the comment is. Okay, and I see people have been putting links in the channel. Thank you for that. I'm checking this out now. Oh, no, it's true. See, I'm going to say thanks, but I asked them to comment here because links aren't enabled on YouTube due to spam. But he's right. I say, hey, come check this. Okay, anyway, what I'm saying is, if you can give me documentation for what's the standard for this naming convention, and where does somebody say, here's what we do? Because just a bunch of people randomly doing something and 50% of them happen to agree, it's good to know that, but it's useless unless somebody has actually written it down and there's some sort of way to know who's agreed to these naming conventions and who hasn't. I think it's really stupid that we have 16 different ways to name CPUs. I mean, even x86, i386, i686. You know, there's so many different names, and you don't know, is i386 actually 386? It's probably i686 because nobody compiles anything for 386 anymore. Anyway. I'm going to go ahead and add these. And I'm going to say chore make prettier. And then I'm going to get stash pop. And then I'm going to add, oh, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a commit, get that one in there. Okay. Webi normalize, get stash pop again. Example, install PS1. I don't think. I don't think this is correct. Get stash list. Yeah, get stash drop. And I don't think that example needs to change. I'm going to get diff that real quick, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually need to change. This is 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Yeah. So we're going to get reset that file. We're going to get check out that file. And then let me look at this one. Whoops. Okay. That's weird. Did I accidentally get rid of my changes there? Well, this looks right. Where did those changes go? Ah, crap. Hold on a second. I'm just going to reset back here a second. Boop. Get reset to here. Okay, get stash. Run prettier. Well, actually, let's see, which way do I want this to go? Can you check out a specific thing from a stash? NPX. All right. I'll talk more about target triplets and other chat. Yeah. Tell me more about target triplets, because it seems everybody knows more about these than I do. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. What was I even doing there? Okay. Package.json here. Huh, that's weird. Why? What is going on? Okay. Why would package.json get modified with this? Because JS is not JSON. I'm very confused about that. Okay, whatever. Go with it. All right, git commit -m chore make prettier. Okay. Now let's add this. Git diff cached. All right. I changed the order of these. I added some other ones. I think this is right. I don't think it's going to break anything worse than it's already broken. Let's say that. Well, no, it could. Here's what I'm going to do. Could it break anything worse than it's already broken? Maybe. I don't want to break anything worse than it's already broken. So what do I need to do to fix this then? Then I need to comment out for now hard float stuff, because that could break it worse than it's already broken. AMD 64 is never going to match on ARM. Let's see. How do I make it match on ARM 6? Something like that. Okay. So important point it just can't be 6, 4. We should be able to distinguish ARM v6 from ARM v64. So ARM v7 is easy enough. It's ARM and it's a 7. That's not going to get confused with anything else. ARM v6 is hard because ARM 6 and ARM 6.4 both start with ARM 6. Okay. All right. Okay, so can we guarantee that we didn't break anything worse than it was broken before? That's the main thing. And I think the answer to that is no. We can't possibly do that. Okay, let me look at these regexes one more time. I want to give myself the best possible fighting chance that I can here. Just organizing this in roughly the same order as what it's organized up there. So bad. Oh, so scary. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this H stuff. Okay. ARM 6 has the same prefix as ARM 64. And should be the default. All right, that's what we're going for. That's my reasoning. This, I don't think, can break anything worse than it was broken before if we go in this order. ARM v7, AMD 64, then ARM 6, provided that we don't allow a 4 to come after the 6. ARM 64 or ARM, then x86, then the other ones. Okay, final answer. Willing to bear the consequences if I'm wrong. Sorry for this, it's really boring stuff right now, but that's programming. Programming is mostly boring stuff. It's a lot of, can I think through this and provide a defensible answer for why I'm doing what I'm doing? Oh, wait, that's not quite right. Did I get that order wrong? AMD 64, yes, then ARM 6, then ARM 64. Got it. Where's that TGZ? I'm just going to do this chore as a lint. Del equals to stash pop. Okay. That just makes it easier for me to reason around this. And actually, I want to do this as two separate changes as well. I'm going to take this bit right here. I'm going to make that a separate commit. All right, and this one is arches for each supported OSs. Okay. arches.forEach supported.os's. There we go. And then let's just get rid of the pluses at the beginning of each line. So we're going to go with, I guess, backslash? No, this is Vim, so we don't need a backslash. Get rid of those. Boop. There we go. Okay. Git add. So this would be bug fix / feature, kind of both. Feature Linux prefer muscle builds to GNU builds. Okay, stash pop. All right. Bug fix. Properly detect ARM v7 versus ARM 64. Update waterfall, arch waterfall to properly detect ARM v7 versus ARM 64. Okay. And now I'm going to restart the service, and I'm going to push this, and I'm just going to double check here. When I restart this, am I getting good detections? ARM unknown. In the case of Zoxide, it should probably be ARM v6 or something. Releases.forEach function rel if let's see, what does it come out as? Hyphen arm hyphen arm hyphen. So if hyphen arm hyphen dot test rel dot, what is this, name or download? I think this is download. Rel dot download. Then we're going to say rel dot arch equals arm v6. I think. Is that what we're saying? Arm v6l? Something like that. Arm v6. Okay, so then let's run Zoxide in particular. Arch, ARM64, 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 ARM v6, ARM v7. Do we have any AMD in here? Apple Darwin. Oh, you know what? No, that shouldn't matter. Let's go to 10 instead of 5. Let's see, do we still have an AMD match? We do. We have an AMD match for Linux Muscle and for Windows. Okay, good. I think this is all correct then. I'm going to restart this one more time. Refresh here. Okay, now we got an ARM v6. I don't know if that's actually right, so I'm going to hold off on pushing it. No, I'm not going to hold off on pushing it. It can't break it worse than it's already broken. Well, it could. It could break it worse than it's already broken. So I am going to hold off. Okay, so let's do git checkout-b Zoxide arm fix. Bug fix Zoxide arm. Git commit -m whip. No, just a bug fix. Yeah, this is whip. How to detect Zoxide triple. Push fu origin bug fix Zoxide arm. Great. Okay, now I'm going to check out, what was that? There was a docs one here. Check out update docs. There we go. I'm going to rebase the Linux releases on here. Rebase-i main. And I'm just going to, oh no, I'm not going to reword that at all. This is good. This is all good. Actually, now let's go check that pull request. And then I think we're going to move on to something else. So I will put this in here. How to do. And then I should label this as whip. There we go. That's the correct label for this. Okay, so let's go take a look at what we got here. So we got these changes. Then we got the docs updates. Oh, that's weird. That looks wrong. I might go back on that real quick. Okay, you can amend the commit now. Once you're satisfied with your changes, run rebase continue. Okay. Oh, no, this is fine. Git rebase -- abort. It just looks wrong in the editor here, but it's fine. It is correct. Okay, I'm betting my life on it. Let's do it. Git checkout main, git rebase, and push. All right, we're getting rid of Linux releases. We're getting rid of update docs. What do we got left here? We're getting rid of hotfix, and we're also going to get rid of hotfix upstream. What do we got? VPS Essentials, bug fix. Good. We're good to go. Okay. All right, one last test here then. I'm just going to log out of there, log back in. That way I know that my shell variables are cleared out. Let me log. Oh, can't log into that one. Duh. Log out, log back in here too. Yeah. All right, let's rumrough some junk. Ben Zoxide local opt Zoxide and then Webi Zoxide. Boop, Webi Zoxide. Oh, whoops, I forgot to do something. I need to log in to prod and make sure that the system restarts. System control, restart, web install. There we go. Well, hello, and welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining in. I'm AJ. Would love to know who you are and what brings you here today. Feel free to ask any questions. Can be life, the universe, and everything. I might give you more intelligent answers if you ask about code. I'll give you intelligent answers no matter what. Just might not be answers that are the same rationale, a level of logical deduction, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, as much as I can. If it is an intelligent question, I will give an intelligent answer in so much as I am capable. All right, so let's try this again. Remove and reinstall, remove and reinstall. Help is on the way. Help. Dang it. Okay, so what's the deal here? What went wrong? How did this go back to ARM64? Wait. No, that's okay. That's okay that I went back to ARM64. But this one should stay ARM7. Why did that not work? Git branch. SRV, install. Kai, what's up? So here's the thing. Docker does not really help simple thing, right? Okay, rather than installing RG, which is however many kilobytes it is, how about command-v RG. Whoops. Okay, so let's do read link -f. Oh, ooh, 5 megabytes? That seems kind of big. I wasn't thinking it'd be that big. Okay, but anyway, same thing. So rather than a 5 megabyte file, you'd rather have a 500 megabyte image. You'd rather have an entire operating system and virtual machine to run a single file. You know? And the purpose of Webi is to make development easier. It is also to make deployment easier, but it is to make development easier. And this is something that, you know, I think that the Docker problem is the wrong problem. Docker solves the wrong problem. Docker says, well, we got it working on your machine. Now let's ship your machine to the client. Because we used to say, works on my machine. Well, we can't ship your machine to the client. But with Docker, now we can say, well, I don't know why it works, but I have an image that happens to work. Okay, now we can ship that to the client. And I don't feel like that's the right solution to the problem. If we can make the base systems simpler and the base systems easier, so they're very easy to explain and very easy to use and very fast, then we don't, not that Docker doesn't have its place, but we don't need Docker to solve problems that are simple problems. So I think that this move towards static binaries is the right thing, because with static binaries, we can have a 5 megabyte binary instead of having a 500 megabyte image inside of a virtual machine. Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm talking about. That said, it is a bit of an uphill battle. For example, Postgres stopped releasing Linux static builds. So if you install Postgres via Webi, you get a version of Postgres that is about 4 years old. Now, granted, that's probably just fine, but that is the last release that is available on the Postgres website. Well, okay, Kai, yes, Docker could ship a 5 megabyte binary in Scratch final container. Great. Or you could just take your compiled Go program and put it in user local bin. I mean, not user local bin, home local bin, home.local bin, right? So there you, if you reduce the complexity to the point where it's easy, yes, you can put it in Docker, which is great because there's lots of systems that are built around Docker. And so if you can just put a one-line exec my thing in Docker, and that's your Docker image, awesome. Great. You've solved the real problem at that point, which is that systems should be self-contained. Mac got it right. You know, when you look at, let me open this up here for reference. Go into applications. You know, when you look at a Mac app and you can just right click, show package contents. Boom. All the code, the binaries, everything. It's right here. That's the right way to do it. Apple got it right. Linux got it wrong. And Docker is basically .app for Linux. And now there's also this other thing for Linux that they're trying to do. But Webi, I think, is the right solution. Create static builds. Make them easy to install. Oops. Where's my cursor at? Okay, now this thing was still not working, and I'm trying to figure out why. Whoops. Interesting. Huh. I do got to check out my auto deploy. Something is slightly wrong with my auto deploy. Okay, cool. Well, this problem is now solved. So I am going to close this issue out again. And I'm going to ask for, I'm going to do cc at, boom. This should not be, okay, I'm gonna, there's one thing more I apparently need to do here, which is I need to check out that bug fix branch, bug fix Zoxide, and I need to find, what is this? How to detect the triple. All right, we're gonna do git reset hard on main, and then we're going to git cherry pick this. We're going to push and git push origin. There we go. Yes, because this should not have much there. It should just be, yes, that should be it. Okay, so that's that. This is done. I can close this out. This is done for now. So I don't know what a NeoVim is, to be honest. I don't know what you mean. I can't share my NeoVim IDE that way. What is the problem? I don't get it. I mean, like, I really don't understand what you're saying. I don't know what a NeoVim IDE is. I've heard of NeoVim. I was assuming that's just Vim but written in a different programming language. I've never used it because Vim 8 came out, and then everything that people were yapping about NeoVim being so great was included in Vim 8, and so we're all good. All right, you'll send over Twitter. Cool. I will go check my Twitters. Boom, 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 boom. I see you sent me a tweet about get ESLint. Don't do it. Well, I don't know. You do what you want to do. But I think you'll find that ESLint is so flipping complicated. It is insane. And again, this is why I like the JavaScript language. I dislike the JavaScript community. The JavaScript language is very similar to Go. It's small, it's tiny, it's easy to reason about, it's easy to write simple programs in. The JavaScript community is, I think Hyper, if you're familiar with Hyper, the terminal, Hyper terminal, JavaScript, let's see, Node. There we go. This is the web development community for you. An Electron-based terminal that, let's see, is it going to do any of the flashy stuff in the demo? Let me see if I just like click around or something. Okay, they're not doing any of the funny stuff, but essentially this has CSS animations and just it's a funny idea, but it is the hyperbole of the JavaScript community. Let's build a terminal and let's basically, you can't see here, but okay, iTerm has animations and stuff, but it's native. This has like video render. I mean, I guess some of it's kind of cool. Here we go. So this is one of their demos. It's funny from the perspective of, oh yeah, look what I can do, but it's not useful. And it overcomplicates things. I don't know that I could ever recommend Hyperterminal to someone, because then you'd have the problems that you have with Chrome in terms of eating up all your RAM, but your terminal doing it and things being slow. And, it's just, this is not a step forwards. It's a step backwards. Let's see. NeoVim is a fork of Vim. He wants to install NeoVim with all those configs in just one command. Yeah, I think you could totally do that with Webi. That's what I do with Vim Essentials, right? Vim Essentials is my Vim config. Now, granted, I don't have 100 million lines, but you just put your config into a Git repo, and that could be done with Webi. I will at some point have some sort of pro feature where you can maybe upload your own scripts that are private, that are not public for the whole world. And you could have that kind of thing going on. Got a bunch of rice like LSP. Sorry, not sent yet. Give me a minute. It's got a bunch of rice like LSP. I don't even know what that means either. Hyper just scared me the moment I saw it. I knew they'll try and do stuff. Rust and Go coders are doing rebuilding everything, but worse. Yes, that is the JavaScript community. And it's a shame that it's taken the turn that it has, because it was going in a good direction, and now it's not. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Well, this is at least a good document. I'm going to bookmark this. In fact, I'm going to go bookmark it in my primary browser. I don't know why I'm using Safari for this particular task. I'm going to bookmark it over here. There we go. Command D. Cool. All right, so that's a good resource to have. With hard float. Thanks. I wish everyone could just agree and use the same naming conventions. But alas, competing standards XKCD. There we go. Whoops. Oh, that already... funny, that already did the right thing. Okay. All right. Closing again because I think I've really fixed it this time. Please check and see. And then who am I tagging? Pierre. Please check and confirm. Well, I guess, okay, the good news is, assuming that people actually follow this standard in the Rust community, which that's a huge assumption, but then I could at least say, well, all Go releaser programs are going to be formatted a particular way. All Rust programs are going to be formatted a particular way. I wonder why they call it unknown Linux. That seems so strange to me because... Oh, goodness. Ah. Oh, heavens. Just... P.S. Why are all Linuxes unknown? Are there any known Linuxes? All right, let's get out of that. Done with that for now. Okay. Are there any other issues I can close out right now? Delta. Okay, this one, we can close this out. Closed out in recent commit. Thanks. There we go. Boom, there we go. Windows should warn. We don't have any real bugs, do we? This one, it's not really a bug. This is just a weirdo use case. Or I shouldn't say weirdo, because I guess a lot of people use Nix, but Nix makes your home directory read-only or something. I don't know what to do for that. Like we had a little bit of discussion back and forth, but I did not understand what is the ask. Well, I guess the ask is to make it not hard fail, to make it print a warning, which that one is a bug on the website, but we got nothing else that's actually a real bug. Ripgraph installer should be an alias. This is one that this is up for grabs. If anyone wants to take this is super simple, copy paste type of thing. There's room for multiple people to take a shot at this if they want to. So I'm going to put this out in the chat. All right. Okay, cool. Check it out. So first timers only. Here's some first timers only. Git commits. Whoop. I'm gonna tweet that out as well. All right. Let's see if I can see this out. Okay, I gotta bring this over to the other screen because it's too small. It's too small. Okay, cool. Let's see what we got here. So I'm just gonna bring this over into here. Well, let's see. I mean, this is all. We can do that, right? There's no objection to just seeing stuff. All right. Class LLVM triple. This is good stuff. Let me see. Webi command not found. That doesn't make any sense. What? Oh. Okay, so this is a good bug to report, Kai. All right, I'm gonna bring this over here so we can all take a look. All right. So the problem is that the path isn't updated yet. So if this is the first thing that you've ever installed, so or if you skipped the instructions before. So that's the other question. Did you skip the prior instructions that said to do export path or close and reopen the terminal? Because what's happening is it's saying Webi is not found, but it's probably because the path is not added yet. And hopefully you've already done the thing where you, can I exit out of this? Where you enable Rosetta. I'm assuming you've already done that. Otherwise, you're going to run into other problems too. Okay. Target triplets, LLVM, Arch, sub, vendor, sys. This is all great stuff. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is going to get a rocket on it. And I need to, and a 4-leaf clover. Why not? Whoops. Let's put a little 4-leaf clover on there too. Shamrock. Okay, cool. This is gold. Okay, I'm just going to put a gold medal on here. Metal. There we go. Gold. Solid gold. Okay. Yeah, so it's not that you should have installed Webi before, because it should work as is. Something is wrong. That because but the competing interests. So I might go ahead and see. Okay, if we did Vim Essentials, I guess I need to look at Webi Bootstrap. Webi. Okay, so Webi goes into local bin, right? But I think what needs to happen is I need to be doing more of this. Let's see. It'd just be Webi and then space, right? And really, I'm only interested in looking at SH files. And so what are we looking at? Webi Bootstrap, Webi Template, Webi Node, Vim Essential, install. Yeah. Okay, so the problem here is twofold. Because if I add Webi to the path for the sake of the script, then the script won't be able to detect whether or not it needs to add Webi to the path. So I think what I need to do... Okay, here's another one if anybody wants a first-timers only. Is go through and in any of the meta installers, I guess what we need to do is replace, let's see, Webi Bootstrap. I gotta think about this, because we're gonna call Webi with the package name. So it should probably be something like this, where we say Webi bin, or say Webi CMD is this, and then we go change in a bunch of places. Sorry, I'm multiple thoughts in my head going on at the same time here. So we do actually have a bug there. That's a legitimate bug. Bug report. So bug, all references to Webi within, okay, let's see. Webi called before it's in the path. How could we make sure? Hold on. Oh gosh, I gotta think about this for a second. I noticed Vim Essentials would all right, let me get the comments back open here so I can see what's going on. Yeah, just earned a medal. Yes, you did. Thank you very much. I put a medal in the Discord. I think people that were watching saw that, actually. So I don't need to retell it. Okay, so I'm looking at... Okay, so I'm gonna argue with you here, Kai. So this is isolated and sandboxed. So none of the config is put into your vimrc. So everything is commented with where it came from, and none of it is actually in the vimrc. All of it is in the plugins whatever.vim. So that's where everything is. So if you want to turn anything off, you just comment it out, and that turns it off. Now, there are a couple of things that it will... If you go up to the top of this, there are a couple of things that I think it comments, but they are in the vimrc, and that's because they need to be. For example, your shell needs to be set to bash in the vimrc. You don't ever want your shell... Because sometimes Vim will execute things in the shell that you're in, which if you're in ZSH or Fish, Fish can be very incompatible, and ZSH is incompatible in nuanced ways. And so you can end up with scripts running and causing errors. And so that's something where, unless you really know what you're doing, you should never be setting your shell to anything other than bash, but sometimes it will get changed to something other than bash, even though it's running inside of Vim because reasons. But I don't understand what you mean when you say, this is why I prefer alias. I don't get this. Everything nicely isolated sandbox. I don't get what you mean there. Are you saying because vimrc is used by NeoVim? NeoVim doesn't have its own config and it tries to read from this, but I don't get that. Okay. But we're gonna see that in a minute. Let me get back to here. Webi is called before it is in the path for some installers. Okay, so let's go here. And I'm going to put labels is It's up for grabs. Good first issue. It's not really a first timers only, but I could throw that up in there. I don't know, whatever. Anyway. Let me go check this out. Okay. Okay. We have a catch 22. We can't add .local bin we can't soft add to path via an export, because then the pathman detection would do the wrong thing, thinking it's already in the path. Let's see. Also see discussion about pathman. About removing or not activating, not using pathman at all when something exists in the path. However, it's also possible to install a meta package that will use Webi when it isn't yet in the path. Solution. We export Webi CMD and replace all instances of Webi CMD with, or Webi XYZ with Webi CMD XYZ. Okay. So in here we would do, oops. Let me do this. So this should be a plus. I'm going to move this over, and then and then there's a half dozen places or so where we need to do this. And let's just pick one real quick and roll with it. Okay, for example, this is great. Webi, let's say GPG pub key. Whoops. So who can take this on? Anyone that understands the basics of how bash variables work, or who can simply follow those instructions. Boom. Okay, cool. So there we go. Finders keepers. I'm throwing it over to you, Kai. earn an open source medal today. Okay, so I'm gonna go paste this on Twitter real quick, and maybe a couple other places. Hashtag first timers only. Hashtag web developers first timers only. All right, I see I got some Twitter stuff going on here too. Okay, and I'm going to throw this into general. I've got some first timers only. Boom, boom, boom. All right, where'd that other thing go? I had another one open that was a good first timers only. Where was that one that I was just looking at? And then I'm going to catch up on some of the chat, sorry. It was something about Windows. It was something about Windows, and it is actually tagged as a bug. It was this one. Sorry, I'm just spreading the wealth here. Okay, well, now let me go check comments here. Okay, no comments there, and then we got some comments coming in here, I think. Comments coming in hot. All of my dot files in config, just download them, store the ones I need, run my software. Don't see the need to be isolated Docker. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Alias in. That's just. Sorry, Kai, but this is the kind of thing that I make fun of, and I'm not really sure if you're serious or not about this. I think that you might actually be serious, that this is really what you do. And this is at the level of meme-tastic for me. So I don't mean any offense by that, but this is the epitome of what I'm talking about when I say development has gotten so complicated that we literally can't run. People have forgotten. It's like WALL-E. It's like the movie WALL-E. People have their high-tech floating space chairs and they've forgotten how to walk. And again, I don't mean any offense by that. I just, this is the sort of thing, this is the type, categorically, this is what I'm talking about with that, where, okay, I mean, if this has to be, if this is really what it is, but it just seems that this is indicative of some sort of problem. Yeah, and so the idea with Vim Essentials, I mean, if you look at the website, let's just bring that up, because to be clear, the purpose of this is for people that want high value, low effort, right? That's what Webi's all about. And as more power users begin to use Webi, some of them are complaining, but it just, a collection of extremely useful plugins and very simple one-line changes to Vim's default settings, right? So I could, I guess, if you click on any of these, they will show you this is exactly what's being done, right? Boom. It shows you this is exactly what happens if you click on any of these. Now, at this higher level, and it gives an explanation of what this is, right? It says, here's what's the vimrc is going to be updated. So I guess, we could say this deserves to have the same type of thing. So that's really clear to say, hey, your .vimrc is going to be updated. Here is what a change might look like. I don't want to have to list out every single one of them, but just say, the changes will look like this. It'll be super clear where it came from. And it's going to, and it's one-liners that pull in the config. These are all reasonable defaults. None of this stuff is very objectionable. If you took it to Reddit and said, hey, this is the end all be all, this is the best Vim config you could ever have, yeah, you're going to start a flame war. But if you're talking about how do you take somebody who is a budding developer, and rather than say, okay, Vim's great, and now let me tell you 100 hours of explanation of why Vim's great and every single configuration option you've ever dreamt of, except that they haven't dreamt of those options. Vim Essentials is saying, hey, how do I get IDE level functionality with a snap of my fingers, right? Vim Essentials is because, okay, I had this Raspberry Pi. I want it to be a development environment. I want to be able to develop on the Raspberry Pi, okay? Apparently, Git isn't installed. I guess this light version is a little lighter than I was expecting it to be. So I guess I do need to do some checks for Git. Maybe that should go in there because it should at least print out, here, Git's not, there's no Git. Here's what you need to do to get Git. And that should just be a function that you could call in any installer script. If Git is going to be needed for that installer script, there should be a Webi check Git. And I can make an issue for that. And this is not a bug. It's not really a bug. It's kind of an enhancement. So let's just go with add helper to check for Git. And then probably something else. So let's say we want Webi check Git. We should have some helper functions that can be called in the inits of any installer. And print out a helpful message. So some helper functions that can check for system level dependencies and be called an installer and print out a helpful message if that tool isn't there. We've partially done this with Git, but it should be more universal in almost every Vimstar package or installer, for example. So function Webi check, do the check, print the message, and then what else? Then, so this would be probably in Webi template.sh or maybe Bootstrap. I don't recall. And then, say Vim prettier. Then we might need, we've got the function init vim prettier. And then we'll do the Webi check get. Do stuff. Something like that. And this would be, this would be an enhancement. This is up for grabs. This is, it's not really a bug, it's just, it is an enhancement. Okay, and we got some chatter going on in the Discord as well. I'm trying to catch up on this. Does Git require Perl? I'm not familiar with that, but most systems do have Perl installed, so I wouldn't. No, it's not. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Git doesn't require Perl because so maybe if you're doing an apt get install, it might require Perl, because when you do apt-get, everything is dynamically compiled and every possible option's turned on. But so if you look at here's a Git installer for Windows, and this fetches from the official whatever it is. Oh, interesting. I'll have to look into some of this more. I should have put these in more things. This should probably make its way into the example file, and that's weird that it's got extra spacing there, but whatever. Anyway, well, I guess this isn't super helpful in of itself, but let's go back to the releases. Here we go. So there's a Git for Windows that is mirrored on GitHub, I think. Yeah. I think there's a static version for. Let's see. I should take a look here. Let's see. What are we at? October 13th, 2021. So this is the official Git for Windows, and I don't think there's any Perl with this. I think you get it and you go. Anyway, I'm gonna put a thumbs up and some huzzahs on this because I love that this is a thing. Let's make sure they get a star here. All right. Anyway, I'm down in the mire. I'm gonna try to get out now. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I can beat you on the 5 seconds. If it only takes you 5 seconds to get your development environment up and running, I have to admit, Vim Essentials, it does take longer than 5 seconds. But it is a bit more generic in the sense that it's going to work for anybody in any environment. Well, obviously there is a bug where, that you discovered where if local bin is not in your path and you haven't run any other Webi installers yet, then yeah. But let me try this now. I should have timed it. I can't believe it's 5 seconds though, because doesn't it have to download the Docker image? So we're probably up at about 10 right now. Okay, well, plus, and now it's installing Node for Prettier. And I don't think that anybody doing development is going to get away from Node unless you are only, no. Even if you're doing Go, you're still going to be dealing with HTML files, most likely. So yeah, that took about 30 seconds, right? But I don't know. I don't know that shaving it down to 5 seconds to create something that's isolated that can't be modified. I mean, the thing that's nice about this too is everything is right here and right here. It's self-documenting as much as something like this can be so. And if I want something else, if I'm going to do vim go, whatever. Let's see. Well, yeah, but if you're saying that you've published this to an AWS mirror, so he's saying, I get this up and running in 5 seconds on an AWS host. I've got Node 2. So if you've got your Docker image published to an AWS mirror, and so you're in region, you're doing a gigabit download of the Docker image. Okay. I don't know. But don't you want Node on the outside of the image as well? Like, I don't actually understand what... I don't use AWS instances because they're not reliable. Every one that I've had has failed. And then I get an email that says it failed, and they don't restart it, which would be the sane, sensible thing to do by default. It's only on Docker Hub. I really don't know much about Docker, when the ecosystem of it, how you publish things and whatnot. I've always found it to be rather confusing, and it always seems to be rather overkill. But then again, maybe developing my own alternative to, essentially, Webi is an alternative to Brew and Docker. Maybe that's a bit overkill, but I am thinking in terms of, I want Webi to be something that it's not in competition with Brew or Docker, although sometimes I do place it in direct competition with Brew, simply because it makes me angry that people have to download 400 megabytes of something to get a tool to have it installed in a place where it's not obvious where it is and how to edit the config for it. But that aside, it's not really in competition with either, but it is providing something that I hope that over, say, the next 5 years, I really do hope that most developers are using Webi, and that when they do have to install Brew, that they groan a little, because they're so used to things being so easy and convenient that when it isn't easy and convenient, they notice it. And same thing with Docker. Although, I get what you're saying. If you've got yours set up highly tuned, then I get where having a Docker image that you can deploy anywhere is faster than this. However, this is my setup. And eventually, I think that I will allow personal profile type stuff to be on Webi in some way, shape, or form. And that'll be a paid thing, like $10 a year or something like that. Something very, very small and nominal, but that you pretty much hit the paywall immediately, and you're either a good customer or you're not a customer. Good customers are paying customers. Those are people that you like dealing with. People that like your stuff well enough to pay for it. They're great people to be around. They typically speaking, paying customers are less hassle, and this is why Postmark and other services like that do so well, is that they cut out the bad customers from the beginning. Anyway, yeah, thanks. It's a breath of fresh air compared to Homebrew, which is interesting because, again, I originally was not intending it as a competitor to Homebrew, but as I used it more and developed it more, it is becoming a competitor to Homebrew. Or it's not, I don't want it to be phrased in that way. It's not becoming a competitor to Homebrew. And again, you can install, this is the nice thing about Webi too. You can install Brew with Webi and you will get a better experience with Brew. Well, better is subjective. You will get a more, predictable experience. But there is a downside that because Brew relies on a lot of shared libraries and a lot of things aren't updated to be able to work with relative paths for their linking, for example. Brew will have to compile things that it ought not have to compile. But once it's done with that process, it is very self-contained, very easy to tell where it is. There's not multiple directories. There's one directory. .local opt brew. End of story. Okay, anyway, gosh, it's already 1 a.m. and what else was I going to do? So we're done with the Webi thing and the Raspberry Pi thing. But I think there was 2 other things that I wanted to try to work through. Let me see. What did I even put in the title? Raspberry Pi Webi APIs. I'm just going to jump between projects. I wasn't really specific about what projects I was going to jump between. Oh, and I've got more comments here. Sorry, I was reading the comments over here. Yeah, 45 seconds. Huh. Well, yeah, when you don't have a gigabit connection from a direct, because when you're in region on AWS, the wires, the fiber optic cable is connected, between the shelves. So, it's as fast as RAM. Like, you got a 10 gigabit fiber connection. It's as fast as RAM. Anyway, 10 a year for personalized deployable tools. I'm in. Cool. Awesome. I got my first customer. Yeah. So, Jose, definitely, if I'm saying that right, because I don't know if it looks as though it's a Portuguese Jose. Josue. Yeah, anyway, tell me how to pronounce it if you want me to know how to pronounce it. But yeah, hit me up and tell me more what you think that ought to look like. Because I will definitely consider it as I build toward the future. Now, let's get out of all this. We're going to get out of the Raspberry Pi. We're going to get out of Webi. Let's see. Do I have anything left here? What was this? Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm so grateful for y'all being here and for having this discussion because, although it's made this process a little bit more roundabout, things were surfaced that would not have been surfaced otherwise. So I'm really grateful for the conversation. I'm grateful for those of you, especially that are trying things out and giving me feedback in real time. That's really awesome. I saw a quote today that is really good, and I'm trying to remember where I found it. It's a pretty popular quote. If I just Google it again, I'll probably find it. But it's 5 minutes with a customer is worth more than 5 hours in meetings or 5 days in development or 5 months of project planning or something like that. 5 minutes with a customer is worth more than 5 months. I think it was a Joel Spolsky. I think it's Joel Spolsky. He's going to be my next who to follow. 12. I think it's 12 something to make your 12 steps to better code. Wait, I don't go to the fake one. I want to go to the real one. Here we go. I'm going to link this for everybody. So unfortunately, say I'm Dominican, the last Josue was right. I have a very bad auditory memory. I cannot remember the way that things sounded. So I think that's the way I pronounced it. Spolsky. This guy. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it was... Oh, maybe it isn't this one. I thought it was this one. Customer. Okay, nope, it's not this one. Okay, I linked to the wrong thing. It's okay. I think it was him that said it, but it could have been somebody else. It really doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to move on to something else now. And that is... I'm going to spend maybe an hour before I go to bed, but not more than that. Famous last words. Oops. I need to get rid of this. That's not true. It's just not true. There's a version of Axios in the package.json. This is a long-lived branch. I haven't updated it in 2 months, I guess. I need to bring in from the other branch I've been working in, but anyway, this wasn't where I intended to land on. Okay, I'm going to go to... I'm gonna create a new repository. I keep on thinking about how I want to do this. I think this is how I want to do it. I've got way too many organizations. There we go. Anytime there's a list that can possibly grow longer than 3 items, there needs to be a filter. Okay. Repository name. I think we're just going to call this doc to PDF. I don't know. Libre convert. I don't know what to call it. LibreOffice API. That's what we're going to call it. LibreOffice as a service. Boom, done. This is it. Okay. We're going to add a README. We're going to add a gitignore. It's going to be for Node. Why Node? Good question. I don't know. Don't have a good answer. License, we're going to go with MPL. Nope, Moz. And convert documents as a service. And we're going to make this public. All right. We're going to create a repository. Yes, that's right. LibreOffice ass. Okay. Let me... That one just now. Okay, good. Cool. Again, I don't have a good auditorial memory, but I think I got it right, so I'll probably get it right again. All right, I want to ask if you have some strategy to update package.json depths at some point. So I run npm. So my first strategy is don't have dependencies. Honest answer. I write everything myself, and I'm not ashamed of that. And like I've talked about this before, but there was a tipping point at which I realized I don't want to deal with other people's crap anymore. And I write relatively good documentation. If somebody's got something better than I do, and I can look at it and I can tell this is quality code and I can trust these people, then I will use it. If I don't have any other reasonable option because writing it myself would take an immense amount of time, then I will use what I need to use. But usually by the time I understand something, I can write it myself, and then I can do a better job than typically whoever else has written it, because most people don't have experience. Things that become popular because there's a void in the marketplace. And it does not mean that the person who wrote it has any idea what they're doing. And that's often what I find is that extremely popular modules are really crufty. And granted, I have some stuff that's really crufty. As things grow larger, it's hard to make them not crufty, but there are some things that are just... Anyway, so take, for example, request.js. I have my own request.js. It follows the same API. It even has a couple of the same bugs. It passes tests for both. It's not 100%, but it's very simple. It's grown from 500 lines of code to a little over 600 lines of code. So we're almost up to 700 lines of code, and it does everything that request does that I need. And it actually does more than that. I could trim some stuff out of this. But so the first thing is I just write things myself. And it starts out small. I write a function, and then I write another function, and I write another function. And so it's often a very natural progression where I'm not sitting down and spending a huge amount of time on something necessarily all in one shot. But then I know, and when something goes wrong, I know what to do. And when I need to add a feature, I know what to do. And this one, this is fairly well documented. Same thing with async router. Async router is actually something I forked, but I have made it my own in terms of I know every line of the code and what it does. And I've updated things, fixed bugs, and I have created a tutorial on how to use it. So my first rule of thumb is literally don't have dependencies. And second would be run npm audit. And there is some sort of tool that can update package.json dependencies. That's just, a random tool. It seems that npm update does nothing. I've never figured out what that actually does. So the LibreOffice ass. No, I thought it was funny. I don't always laugh when I think it's funny. But yeah, I appreciated it. It wasn't lost on me. I get it. I did. Anyway, here's another one that I wrote myself because it had the alternatives had so many dependencies that they pulled in. Once I read the spec and I understood it, and this is pretty decent documentation. I have no qualms with giving this to a client. So if somebody says, oh, you write your own stuff and that's not as good because it's not as well tested. False. This passes all the same tests as the original package. That's the Python package. It passes all the same tests. And then the documentation is better than what's out there for the other packages. So if you needed to use a BIP39 something or other, this is the one that I'd recommend. But yeah, so I just, I don't know. Lots of people argue and say that I waste too much time reinventing the wheel. And maybe they're right, but the wheels I encounter are broken. This tz.js, this is another thing. The alternative to this, I think, is 20 megabytes, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry. I can't bring in 20 megabytes of dependencies to be able to tell you what time it is. That's just, and moment was 5 megabytes. And then, this is the best way to go. If you need to convert between time zones, there is no better alternative currently today than this right here. xtzjs/tzj. It's published as xtzjs, but then it's on the GitHub is tz.js. So maybe I should have just picked a side and not named it both things, but whatever. But anyway, there's no better way to do this. There's nothing out there that works and is documented and that I can morally bear to impose upon someone. Now, there is one case where this fails in comparison to the one that's 20 megabytes. This uses syscalls to get time, meaning that it will ask Linux, hey, give me your time information. That has a cost. The one that's 20 megabytes does all of the parsing of the time zone database in itself. And so it is faster, because if you need to do thousands of them per second, it's faster because it parses the information and holds it in memory and doesn't have to do a context switch for a syscall each time. Yeah. So this one, the way that it works is it will work in Node and it will work in the browser, and it uses INTL datetime format. The problem with INTL datetime format is that it doesn't work the way that you think it. And there's another case where this could fail, which is in my. So let me go. I don't think I moved this one yet. I start a lot of stuff on my personal GitHub, and then I move it over once I get it figured out what it needs to be. So I have a Docker starter thing. Let's see if I can find it. I got like a Node, Node Docker seed. And this just has a bunch of stuff to get you started with testing an OpenID config for authentication, and then also listing versions of things. And it has the Docker file for Slim node and Scratch node. And I'm trying to remember what the difference was. But essentially, it is possible to get a version of Node that, and you kind of have to try to do this, but it's possible to get a version of Node that does not have time zone information in it. And that's one of the reasons that I put out the ICU and the TZ, because you want to see that that stuff is built in and is somewhat recent. So I'll give you a link to this too. Oh, I love the Go standard library. I love Go. I love Go so much. I love Go. Yes, absolutely love Go. So when you ask me, why don't you do this in Go? The answer is basically because I'm already in the mode of doing Node. I am going to be switching over to doing Go code towards the new year, because I'm wrapping up some of the Node projects and I'm getting back to some of the Go projects. It is going to happen. But because a bunch of the services that I already have to interact with and people that I need to interact with, we're already doing some Go stuff. I mean, some Node stuff. I'm doing some of this stuff in Node, but I am going to be switching over to doing Go stuff when we get to Telebit in particular, which is coming up after the PayPal. Then we're going to do some other payments related. So we got the PayPal is pretty much, I just need to spend a little extra time on that so I can put a bow on it. And then we're going to move on to some of the other payment processor stuff and Dash. And then Telebit is going to come after that, and we're going to integrate that. Some of it we're going to rewrite in Go. Some of it we're just going to use the Node as a service. And Telebit is written in Go. The currently deployed Telebit is written in Node, but the Telebit that's going to go on Webi, and that is going to be the foundation for the cloud device. So Hub here, this is the cloud device that I'm working on, the home cloud device. So let me just give you a couple links here. Yes, Go is love. True dat, brethren. You are my people. Anyway, so the new version of this is built in Go, but I haven't built out the user services yet with it. And the auth service started out in Go, but had to switch over to building it in Node because of places where it needed to integrate. But it's going to come back out, because now that we're building out this API stuff, I need an SSO service. So I'm gonna complete it in Node, but then I'm gonna rewrite it, or I'm gonna pick back up what I'd already written in Go and get back to that. I like Rust, but I don't program as much in Rust as I would like. And my problem with Rust is similar to my problem with JavaScript, except it's the opposite. JavaScript people can't make good decisions. Rust people can't make decisions. So that's a really broad, negative way to say it. But if we're talking about on the basis of the community, what are the faults in the community? The fault in the JavaScript community is things like hyper. This is obviously a bad idea. but they run towards it. And the problem in the Rust community is it's obviously a good idea to have a standard library, but their values are too high on respecting each other's inability to reach decisions to make decisions. What makes Rust good? So Rust is good when, if you're considering between Go and Rust, always use Go every time. Rust is good when you can't use Go and you can't use Node, or they're not reasonable options. Rust is when you need things to be really, really perfect. So if you were writing a binary parser, if I was going to write a DNS server, you'd be better off writing a DNS server in Rust than in Go, because you have to parse binary. There's lots of minutia. Rust makes it really, really easy to do pattern matching on any type of data, but not pattern matching like regex, but more, they call it enums, but it's really, really powerful. And Rust, the garbage collection is built into the compiler, or rather the garbage collection happens, it's inserted into the code, kind of in the same way that you can think of a C preprocessor. The preprocessor of Rust is the garbage collector. If it can't figure out how to garbage collect, it won't compile the code. As far as I'm aware, Go is... they're the conference talks that I tell everybody to watch. So extra difficulty, but for things like a kernel is perfect. Exactly, yes. Yes, you couldn't write a kernel in Go, although Microsoft might argue with that from the perspective that they wrote a kernel in C#. I don't think it went anywhere. I think it was one of those projects that some developers wanted to do, and they entertained it for a while, and it got some press. But obviously you can't write a kernel in C#. But yeah, you can write a kernel in Rust. You can write microcontrollers in Rust. I have some blue pills, which are these STM32s. We've got a workshop that we're going to do in March at the Rust user group. And we're doing that in Rust. Rust is being used by Vivint, which is a home security company. They do smart home stuff. I guess they're not a home. They are a smart home company. They do home security, but they shed the home security branding to be branded smart home. Rust is used in layers of infrastructure where Go, basically, if you cannot scale it, Rust is the right tool for the job. So you cannot scale a desktop CPU. So you're going to see more and more games being written in Rust. You're going to see more and more services that if it's something that cannot run on multiple CPUs, if it's something that you cannot AWS scale, oh, did I just say AWS? That's because we were talking about earlier. If you can't run on multiple instances of a thing, you can't cloud scale it or whatever, Rust is the right tool for the job. Yes, and my favorite person is back with the big follows. Oops. Yeah. Anyway, let me get back to whatever the heck it was I was going to do. Oh, yeah. I was just creating this LibreOffice as a service. That's a perfect name for it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and see what I can do here. I'm going to go on another screen for a second, maybe. Let me go over here. No, go over here, go over here. I got too many things open. Let me close out. I'm going to close out some other screens that are distracting me over here. This is strange. Oh, I didn't realize you could do that. Okay, huh. All right, I need to get out of that for sure. For some reason, let me check preferences here. Oh, that's why. No, I don't want send text at start. I just want custom shell. There we go. I was wondering what was going on. I was fishing twice. All right, I got something else I need to close over here. And then I'm about to bring this back open. Here we go. Okay. So just 1 second, ladies and gents. Let's see. I should probably... Oops. No, I didn't want to do that. Let me try this again. Okay. So I'm gonna bring some stuff up on my screen in just a second here. Okay, I'm over in this directory now. I'm gonna move this back over here. Yeah, we're gonna move this back over here. I'm gonna clone this. I'm gonna spend about an hour making this service. Maybe, we'll see. All right, so I already got some code started on this. I wonder. I just do a little cleanup, put it in a repo, and try to get it deployed. That's what I'm gonna focus on right now. Okay, so we got this. I'm gonna go with boom. That probably wasn't the right thing to do. And maybe it wasn't the wrong thing to do. Okay, git checkout readme. Oh wait, why did I do? Oh, because I wanted to save this. Okay. So, oh, and I forget, only production. Even npm CI doesn't do the right thing by default. It's so maddening. All right. LAS. What is that on the telephones? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I haven't actually explained what this is yet. I was working on this the other day. Give me a second, and then I'll give it explain. No, I'm not Pandoc. Not necessarily. Maybe. I'm not sure. As in, I haven't used Pandoc enough to know how good it is at doing what needs to be done. I know that I need to use LibreOffice because I know that the LibreOffice features and bugs are what I need to depend on right now. But Pandoc and was it Unoconv are alternatives that I want to investigate in the future. But immediately, what I need is the exact conversions that LibreOffice do, because I depend on, like I said, I need to depend on be able to depend on both the features and the bugs. You know, it's not. Sometimes it's not about doing it the best way. It's about doing it. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. What am I trying to do here? I was looking up something specific. I was looking up. Was it? I thought I was looking up. Dang it! I lost it. I picked up my phone for a reason. I think it was to look at I thought it's like an authentication code or something. I don't know. I forget. Oh, no. I picked it up to look at the dial pad, and then I got distracted. Okay. 5227. That's the port we'll use. LAS. 5227. I like to use ports that are, you know, LAS. There we go. On a keypad, LAS is 5227. This is how I keep my different services from being in conflict with one another when I'm testing things out locally. 5227. Okay, and I'm going to need to have in here some fixtures. So I'm going to go ahead and create a fixtures directory. And I think I'm going to search for, I think my wife had some docx homework documents or something. I just need to find something generic that doesn't have proprietary information in it about a person or whatever. I miss the days when search was fast. Do y'all remember back when search was fast, when you could actually use Spotlight Search? It wasn't too many years ago that Spotlight Search was useful, and I do miss those days. Let's see. docx. Resume. I don't know. There's got to be some sort of docx file here. Let me pull this over. There's probably something for my wife's homework that'll work. It's just a generic instructions or something. I wish it would always pop up. This is something that frustrates me when something works half the time. So if I start typing, sometimes it pops up and it says, did you mean file names? See? And sometimes it doesn't. All right. Let's see. I could have sworn I picked up something from here the other day. This is some of this. I don't even know where this actually is. It's probably some backup of my wife's computer. I'll check comments in just a second. I see that some are scrolling by here. I'm just checking to see if anything looks super generic. Sample Word doc. There we go. That's exactly what I'm looking for. That's it. Okay. Now, can we open with... We can't open this with preview? Really? Where'd preview go? Okay, let me try opening the sample Word document with text edit and see what's inside. Oh, no, this is not a sample document. It's still named sample document. Okay, let me check what we got here. Yo, Rune! What's up? Yeah, I might want to do Pandoc as a service as well. And that would actually be really great if we could A/B test and see. I need to start with LibreOffice because we know the bugs. We know these are the things that will convert correctly and these are the things that won't convert correctly. I use Alfred for searching in Mac. It works like Spotlight, but better. So it works the way that Spotlight used to work about 5 years ago in OS X Mavericks, is my assumption. Back before they started adding all the Siri and removing the proper indexes because they're assuming that you're using an SSD, so why would you need proper indexes? We just delete them every time you do a search and start over from scratch. macOS is a joke, as you mentioned. Yeah, Finder defaults make me cry, indeed. Yeah, so were you around for my setup video? I did 2 unboxing and setup videos, one for the M1 and the other for the 2015. The 2015, I went, it was a lot better because I just did the M1 and then I set up the 2015 and I streamed it. D menu plus Arch is blazing fast. That's cool. Rice Gang. And D menu and Arch all the way. Oh. So have we talked about this on this stream? By the way, we're having such a good time. If you're having a good time, give it a like. And more importantly, share with someone that you like. This has been really fun. I don't usually have this much fun coding. I'll have to remember that it's Tuesdays from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's when the cool people come out. Not to say the other people aren't cool. Actually, I guess that's what I said. Oops. But yeah. Gentoo is rice. Yeah, your friends are lame. We're the cool guys. I'm not gonna scroll through this again. I just brought it up the other day. Okay, so we've got this now. Oh, title page, written pitch, writing 1. Yes, that's the one I was looking for, I think. Writing 1. Words. Okay, cool. Yeah, this was... Okay, hopefully that didn't edit anything. This is it right here. I need to... hold on. We're going to bring this up over here. All right, and now we're going to bring in from downloads, writing 1.docx. We're going to put that in fixtures. And then if I can, let's see, there is something, I'd like to pull out the professor's name from this, but other than the professor's name, it's just complete generic bad advice. Oh, cool. So we can go into document, right? Cannot make changes, modifiable is off. That's too bad. Can I turn modifiable on? Modifiable? Huh? Oh. Oh, this didn't... I was expecting that it would let me open this. Oh, okay. Select a file with cursor and then press enter. I wasn't reading the instructions. There we go. Let's see. We're just going to change this to John Doe. Do we have history in here or anything? All right, I think that's it. I think that will update the name to be John Doe and we'll be good. No one will be any the wiser. I doubt he's going to come after me for copyright claims. And if he does, I'll deny it. I'll say I found it on the internet. Plagiarism lawsuit. Husband of BYU student copies generic instructions on how to write a title page. Plagiarism extraordinaire. I'm here to make the news. All right. Okay, so what do I want to do with this? All right, so here's a question for you. Should I put the name of the file in the URL or should I put it as a query param? I'm actually leaning towards making it a query param. Reason being that it could have all sorts of stuff in the name. So I just kind of like to have it match this. So we could do, say, file name equals and target. Could we say target format? We could even maybe go this way, like this, convert and then /PDF. So this is the target, and then this is the file name. What about that? What do y'all think? Let's see. What am I missing here? Oh, Marcine, welcome back. Moved from Twitch to YouTube. Here's more people. Well, here's the thing. Look, I just need all of y'all to move to Twitch because Twitch is gamifying me and they want me to get my audience on there so that they can give me some sort of medal for having an average of 3 people on Twitch at a time. See? So you got to all move to Twitch because I'm caught up in the psychology of the system. They've got me. I am a press mold of the machine now. So, but hey, welcome to YouTube. Hey, Marcin. Okay, let me see what else we got here. Click the bell, get notifications. You're going to get so many notifications, you're going to unclick the bell. But, yeah. Post about Gentoo is funny. And noticed my machine used 150 megabytes out of the 32 gigabytes of RAM at boot. Yes. Hey, well, I mean, I'm there with you. Well, no, I'm not because I'm using 32 gigabytes of my 16 gigabytes at boot. But, you know, you can stay here if you want, Marcin. You should be able to. Is the cross chat not working right now in Twitch? Because the cross chat, you should see everything that's coming in from YouTube. Everybody should see everything from everything. You don't have a Twitch account. You don't know how to click sign in with Google. Bah. No, it's okay. You know, the Twitch is an interesting community that I don't yet understand, but we'll figure it out or we won't. All right, this is what I think I want the API to look like. Thoughts on that? And also, and then I think Kai sent me an email. No, it was you commented on the pull request, the something or other. What was it? Anyway, it was a really good comment. No, the issue. You commented on the issue. It was a good comment. Okay, so this, I don't like that. We're going to go, So I need this to be in single quotes, and I want this to be a variable. Tell me, y'all, if you've got a better idea than me just doing this. Because I think that's it. I don't like that we're mixing quotes side by side here, but anytime you got a query param, you got to put that in single quotes because you can have all sorts of strange characters in there, and the ampersand itself will, you know, mess up your business. Okay, I should probably put this in quotes. Resume PDF. Okay, that's probably how that should be. That's important to know. System requirements. We got LibreOffice. We got Node. Okay. And then let's see here. We'll just call this table of contents. And we'll have system requirements. Git clone. Let's see. We're going to use HTTPS for this. No. Use Git. If you don't use Git with SSH, you're a Git. That's it. That's the tweet. Full send. Okay. LibreOffice as a service. And I probably should, let's see. Let's see, what do we do? Install, configure. We're going to have rsync example.env.env. And then I want to have, let's see, we'll do OpenSSL rand, or is it rand base 64? Now we'll have to do hex And then I forget, what do we say, how many bytes we want, or is it how many characters we want? Yo, Rune! Yeah, my boy on Twitch. Hey, Felix, what's up? I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Cool Kids channel. Tell all your friends. Only the cool ones, though. It's a very limited club. We only want 100,000 subs. That's it. We hit 100,000 subs, and then it's like Jehovah's Witness. You either made it or you didn't. You know? Hopefully nobody's a Jehovah's Witness. I have only met nice Jehovah's Witnesses personally. Well, not hopefully no one's a Jehovah's Witness. Hopefully, if you're Jehovah's Witness, you didn't take offense to that. But, you know, maybe it was offensive, so maybe, hopefully you'll forgive me. Maybe. Okay, so what do we want here? I need to figure this out. What is it? OpenSSL rand hex 2. Yeah, that should be all right. Oh, cool. I got it right. Okay, and it is indeed bytes. Okay, so 8 should be sufficient. That'd be 16 characters there. Whatever. We just need something for what do we need? That works for a simple API token to start with. We can just do a simple string match, and that'll be all right. So let's say echo API token equals, I guess we could put this in double quotes, and then like that, .env. So we'll do something like this. And I would prefer to do public-private key pairs, but to start out, I'm just going to do that. That's simple enough. Hey, thanks for bringing Felix here. Right. I'm the only person you've ever seen using pushd. Well, so I am systematic about things. When I find a tool that works better, I abandon the previous tool. So pushd works better than cd. It does what you need it to do. And so I don't use cd because why would I use a tool that is inferior and has problems when I can use a tool that is better? So for those of you that don't know, pushd keeps track of all the directories you've been in. And since I write scripts a lot, it is very nice to be able to push into a directory multiple times and then pop out of directory multiple times. So I can push in and I can pop out. So I don't ever use cd because with cd on reasonable shells, cd has the exact same behavior as pushd. So if you're in ZSH or in, I think also in Fish, if you cd into a directory, you can pop d out of the directory and it keeps the stack. But in the Bourne shell, pushd works the way that something ought to work, which is it keeps track of the stack. But cd does not. And so that's why I always use pushd. Now, there's an argument that is actually a very strong and good argument that rather than using pushd, just use cd with a subshell. And I think that possibly eliminates even more problems, but I'm not sold on it yet. But I could switch. I'm sold on pushd for now. It could change in the future. It's possible. Okay. All right, then we're going to run this. We're going to have a demo page. I have the demo curl. So this is already kind of sort of set up. And I think I'm going to install LibreOffice. Ooh. Let's see how much I regret this. if I don't have to use a PKG, if I can drag and drop, I won't regret it. All right, what do we want? A one-time donation. Is this real LibreOffice? It is. Download will start shortly. Okay. Is my download done yet? Almost. Remember back in the days when to get a 3 megabyte MP3, you had to wait 20 minutes and you couldn't use the phone? Let's see. So I guess while that's downloading, I can keep doing more stuff. Let's see. Do we have a config? What is this? I don't know if I need this. I'm gonna go API token equals API token. So the reason I do a config.js, because it's kind of it's redundant, but it's just to be able to have something to lint. Let's see, and then I want .env goes here, .prettyrc goes here, .json. What in the world? How did I get a .prettyrc without it being .json? What else goes here? .jsendrc, sure. .getignore, I don't know about that so much. Let's see. What did I put in the getignore here? Did I put anything in here? Nothing. Nothing in particular. Okay, so let's make sure in my getignore, do we have env, .env, .test, .env, .start, really. I just want to allow example.env. Okay, and we're going to have in here API token equals, and then put OpenSSL rand hex 8, right? There we go. Oh gosh, there's already a lot of stuff in here. All right, my hour is almost up. How did that happen? I think it's because we got on some good conversation and some funny conversation and some good funny conversation. All right, also another thing, for the love of all that is sacred in this world, don't use CDNs. They only make your web page slow. If you don't believe me, look at the perf tools. All right, so move that in there. And I definitely want to have a comment here of where this came from. But that is that. Okay, prettier. Routes. All right, and we're going to change up routes because I decided that we are actually going to do a flippy-do on this. So this is going to be format. And so we're going to have rec.params. Format is going to go somewhere. I forget where it's going to go. Because it doesn't go here. This would be request.query.filename. That's what that's going to be. So if not request dot query dot file name, then we're going to do throw new error. And for right now, we're just going to say bad request. File name must be a file name. Name should be the name of the source file. I wonder if we even need that. Because we could just do a from to type of thing. You know, format A to format B. And it doesn't need to know the file name. It doesn't really need to set the content disposition. File name could just be a hint at content disposition. File name. Anyway. So where is this going to get used? That's my question. Format. Oh, this isn't going to get used. Okay, let's do convert here. Convert. Yeah. So let's do it. Let's say you can put in format, and format is going to equal PDF by default, just so that we're clear on what the expectation is. Okay, so we're going to take that out actually, and we're going to do format. I'm going to check comments in just a second. Okay. This is a little bit too long. Maybe file name equals, let's just do it this way. That's a lot to repeat. So let's just do it this way. Bring that here, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll do format, and we'll just let this be. And this is the target format. Content disposition file name hint. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Okay, so LibreOffice is downloaded. Let's let it take forever to unpack. I was probably not alive when that happened. Darn it, I made some sort of temporal reference. Wait, alt.binaries. Oh, you're talking about Usenet. Yeah, I never got on Usenet. It's as far as I know, when people say the dark web, that's what they're talking about. Isn't that still how you get your torrents? All right, LibreOffice is going to take its 5 years to copy over its 600 gigabytes of... Hey, they've trimmed it down. They've trimmed it down a lot. It's only 741 megabytes. Hey, congratulations, LibreOffice. I don't know how you did it, but you cleaned something up. Also, another miracle has occurred in fairly recent times. Create React App is now down to under 200 maintainers in the 200 different authors that you have to trust in order to trust Create React App dependency authors. So I think it's under 200 dependencies, maybe under 150 different authors, and then under 100 megabytes. So huzzah for Create React App, because it used to be a lot bigger. Okay, we can get rid of this. All right. So did that, it's still copying there. All right. So we're about to be able to test this locally on my Mac without having to deploy it, which is good. Because I do want to be able to test it. I'm going to put system requirements, LibreOffice. Okay. Mac OS users of macOS, because the whole lowercase thing gets me. I can't start something with lowercase and then have something else after it be title case. It just, I can't do it. If you install LibreOffice to applications, you can add Office to your path like so. Let's see, webinstall.dev, export, well, I guess technically, let's see, export path equals, what is it? Home, no, it would be applications slash no. For this one, it is the home bit. Home.local/bin. There we go. And then pathman add, and then we can do applications. We'll figure this out in just a second. Applications, LibreOffice, and it's probably under macOS soft. There we go. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. And here it be. Install pathman permanently and in the current session add Sophos to path. There we go. Cool. So now we got that done. So now I can run Sophos and give it fixtures and PDF, right? Did this work? No, why not? Command-V Sophos. That's weird. Why did this not work? Did I not run it? Maybe I didn't run it. Okay, cool. Sweet. This is working. Hey, go get some sleep. Oh, that'd be awesome to have you contribute to Webi. Thanks. Well, you have a good one. Yeah, and I need to go get some sleep soon too. So I'm just going to test this out. Let's see what we got here. Fixtures, writing one. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see. Outdoor. Convert to. This didn't seem to go quite as planned. All right, why did this not work? What's the usage on this thing? Okay. Let's see. Is this real? No, it's not. I don't know how that constitutes success. That obviously did not work. Let's see. Convert. Format. Options. Okay, so this should be... So this should be rather if out file dot includes a dot. So format, let's say out file. Okay. So let format equal out file. We'll do path.ext name, I think. Is that what we're doing? Or is it just path.ext? All right, and then we could do .slice1. So then we take input file and then format and then out, and then we could do, let's see, async. We could do await fsp.rename out to out file. Sure. FSP is equal to require fs.promises. And then we're going to do let path equals require path. There we go. All right, let's see if this works now. Okay, good. Let's see if this works as expected. Cool. There we go. Gives us something to start with. It works. Sweet. So what we need to do here is if not input or not output, console dot error process dot exit 1 usage sophis.js input.docx output.pdf. There we go. Probably do source and target. I don't know. All right. Is this good? This is good. All right, there's a little test program for it. So now let's see if we can get the web service working. And I think for now, I'll just get rid of that. Okay, npm CI only equals production. Is that right? What if I get rid of only equals production? Then what happens? Added 90 packages versus, what if I do only equals gargle splat? Oh, okay, cool. All right, only equals production. There we go. npm run start. Okay, oh, and I didn't actually update server.js 3042. What was it? 5227 is the port I wanted. npm run start. All right, we got any more comments here? No. Let's see. Why? Safari don't like that. 127.0.0.1. All right, cool. So here we are. This is the thing that I worked on a little bit the other day. And then I guess I could go to downloads, writing one PDF, writing PDF. Oh, I guess I should copy this back to downloads so that I can access it easily. And then npm run start again. And then here we are, docx. If I wrote project with Node, I added system control. It was easier to write system control start service and exit the server, but it's not prod, so it can be only Node. I'm not exactly sure what you mean there. But if you, webinstall.dev serviceman, I'd recommend serviceman and watch exec. I pair these two together. So I actually, on my dev instance, I use serviceman for systemd, and then I actually will use watch exec inside of that. And I've got too many options here. I need to trim this. But yeah, I'll have to show. I need to add it to the cheat sheet. I think I've already got it in an issue to add it to the cheat sheet the way that I run it. All right, API convert, new file name equals PDF. Let format equals PDF. And then we're going to do format. There we go. Okay, so restart or refresh, and then let's get that document right here. And that should upload, and it's going to run the LibreOffice conversion, and then it's going to download. And what I should have is a batch job. Do I want to allow downloads? Yes, I do want to allow downloads. Cool. And so then we should have writing 2, and we should see bada bing, bada boom, it worked. Cool. So I think I'm going to call that good for the night and maybe go get some sleep if I can figure out how to do that. I work all night and I sleep all day. Okay, and I am going to give a direct link to the LibreOffice download because I always appreciate that. And then I forget the way that it needs to be done for Windows, where Pathman would need to add it, but we shall see. Download LibreOffice for macOS. Boop, 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 boop. All right, so this is basically what it needs to be. So we need to add an API token for this thing. I don't actually have a use for the API token yet. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to put it in a comment for now. None of the options do anything yet. You know, here's what we're going to do. There will be options. They will be meaningful. But for right now, I'm just going to say echo port equals 5227 into.env, and we're going to call that, this is the configuration. .env, fastify static, looks good. All right, main is going to be what? Sophist, maybe? Okay. Example.env, port equals 5227. Do I even have the cores middleware in there yet? I don't think I do. Nah, I don't. Okay. I should nest those under lib. All the JavaScript files that are up top, I should nest under lib, but I'm not going to do that right now. Let's see. You wrote it. Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is one of my things. So I don't know if you were here when I said this earlier, actually. I think you joined in later perhaps, but I want to, ultimately, what I want is for everybody to be able to have a device in their home that gives them the capability to have as much privacy and ownership as they desire to have without sacrificing any convenience. I want a system that is faster and more convenient than anything else out there. And I think that in order to head in that direction, that we have to have developer tools that are faster and more convenient. Because right now we're trending towards insane amounts of complexity, where very simple things require vast amounts of infrastructure. And the reason that this exists is simply a matter of convenience, because there is better documentation for how to run a Kubernetes cluster than there is for how to write a systemd file. And this is true. This is objectively true. There is better documentation for how to deploy a Kubernetes cluster than there is for how to write a systemd file. And so we need to take down the complexity on the simple things. If we can take down the complexity on the simple things, you don't need a Kubernetes cluster if you can just get a systemd file that works like that. And so that is part of my goal with many of these projects, is how do we bring the level of complexity down? That is the core, that is the heart, that is the soul, that is the being that is webinstall.dev. Bring the complexity down. Bring it down to manageable, scoped levels. So other than be a good father and husband, the thing that I want to accomplish on this earth is to make it so that people can use devices that they own in a way that grants them as much ownership and privacy as they desire without sacrificing convenience and speed. So that's the goal. That's the big vision. All right, let me make sure that this curl still works. I'm just going to do example.sh for right now. We're going to do, what was it? Fixtures, writing 1, docx. I'm going to call it that. Sure. I wonder what was that? Oh, because I'm missing. Hold on. Okay, there it goes. Now it's happy. Okay, npm run start. And I think this is going to work out okay. All right, still looks good. I opened up on the other window. Doot, 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 doot. All right, let's see. Replace resume with writing 1. And then we're going to do fixtures. Let's see here. see, docs, instructions and examples. Boom. Okay. Here we go. Now I got to add some stuff to deploy this. I need to move some of these things into a lib folder. I actually do want, don't tell anybody, I'm going to force push on this. Install, configure, run. Put this testing locally on Mac. How to test locally on Mac OS. System requirements for Linux. All right, folks. I'm gonna commit this. I'm gonna do a little fix up commit here. Git rebase. Add tilde dash I. Add tilde 2. Sure. Do git and then git push dash fu origin main. All right, so here this is, and tomorrow at work, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do this tomorrow at work, but I'm gonna get this up so that we have an instance of this at work, and it's just gonna need to have some sort of API token, essentially just to prevent abuse of the service is all. And yeah, if you like this, if you enjoyed it, if we had good conversation, if we had good chat, if you learned something, give it a thumbs up, share with somebody that you think also, share with someone that, if you liked it, thumbs it up. I got to figure out what my tagline is, trying to figure out, the words that you say automatically at the end, whatever. Anyway, you know what I'm saying, thumbs it up, share it, subscribe it, doobly-doo, click all the things. Have a great night. Thanks for joining me this evening. It was great. I really enjoyed it. This is blossoming into a really fun group of people, and I really like that. So, cool. Adios.